I don't know if you know but I don't speak Russian! I'm gonna go to the expo. Maybe I'll even get laid.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Regular or Menthol podcast, where we discuss Kino movies. My name is Tate. My co-host here is Chris.
Hello, folks.
We give our thoughts on the movie, our experience with it growing up as children, as young lads. And then we discuss specific scenes that we liked, followed up with our very own Kino rating, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're discussing the movie Iron Man 2 from 2010, and it's starring Mickey Rourke and Sam Rockwell.
There you go. This is it.
I don't know what happened in the last week. I can't tell time anymore, and I don't know what year it is. I'm kind of like...
There's a happening. There's a happening going on. They're drafting people. Did you see this?
I didn't see this. The only thing I saw was that they're raising the age to be... Like, I can enter the military now. They raised the age to...
Yeah? What was it before?
Up to, and it was probably like 38 or something before. But now it's up to and including 42.
Nice.
Should I join the Special Forces?
Well, you can only do it for like a year or two, right?
No, once you're in. Once you're in, I think you can go to forever. But
so you can be like on the front lines at age 50? Age 60?
Listen, I'm an athletic specimen. Okay? This is what they don't know.
You're the secret weapon.
I saw some guy on Twitter talking about the draft, and they were saying like, man, boot camp, I can't wait to see these guys in their 40s in boot camp. It'll kill them. Mm-hmm. And then one of the responses like, speak for yourself, asshole. I'm an athlete.
Yeah. I don't even know if I'd survive boot camp, dude. I ran a mile the other day at work, and it wasn't good, dude. It was like a 9-minute pace.
Yeah.
But I haven't ran.
What were you running a mile in high school?
Well, I mean, it was like 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
6 minutes, maybe. But anyway, yeah, dude, it's just like, I haven't ran in a couple of years. Like, I did the Broad Street run a couple of years, I think 2 or 3. And I haven't literally run since then because I'm like training for this 10-miler. I'm like, nah, dude, I can't run anymore, period. The point being is, I don't know how I would survive in boot camp. I'm 39.
Well, how old are you?
I'm 39. So it's like, I just turned 39. I still work out. I still feel strong and fit. But in terms of getting through a full boot camp, I mean, I don't know, it's questionable.
Imagine going to boot camp and you got some like 30-year-old drill instructor yelling at you.
Yeah, right. I'm like, bro, calm down. I'm on. I was doing this shit when you were in diapers. I was lifting when you were in diapers.
We're not going to make it, man. I mean, listen, can you imagine if they actually draft? So someone was saying to me the other day, the average age of the Ukrainian fighting force is like 45 or something. 45 years
that's
old.
Like, and again, you never know how accurate this shit is, but they were like, during the height of that, they were just kidnapping dudes and like throwing them in vans and shit. And they would just have to fight. Vanning them. It's like, all right, well, is that where we're headed?
I love that.
We're heading that way in America?
I vaguely remember at the start of the Ukraine war, they were saying they were passing out AKs to people.
Yeah.
And giving them like 3 magazines, 30, like 90 rounds.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do with that?
How's that war going?
It's
Never heard of that in a while.
Probably never going to end, dude. The Ukraine war, the 2-day operation or whatever it was, is never going to end. And it's just
2 weeks.
Hear me out.
2 more.
Listen, this is Conspiracy Corner. Hear me out. What if no one wanted to win the war? And the actual point of the war was just to kill as many people as possible that lived there.
Wow. Go on.
Yeah. There's no objective. There's no actual, like, good guys and bad guys.
Right.
There's just, let's just kill each other, get rid of people, and pretend like there's some ideological war going on.
That's what they're trying to do.
Everyone on the battlefield, they believe that the other side is against them.
Yeah.
And they're fighting each other.
Isn't that like
a ambition?
Yeah. Isn't that like a thing they were trying to roll out like back in the 90s, or it's just like population control?
It's still being rolled out.
Via the war.
It's called television.
Yeah, man.
It's called watching Iron Man 2.
But it's funny because it's going to segue very well into this movie. But last thing I'll say on it is like, I'm watching this show. I watch this YouTube channel. They kind of cover things pretty objectively, and they're interviewing this one dude, and he's just a military strategist, this like nerd guy, and he's basically it's just he's like laughing about it, and they're like, dude, what's so funny? He's like, I really believe that they're gonna unleash a nuke. And he's like, I'm the only one who believes this, like 50% chance of it happening. And he gives this whole breakdown of why he believes that to be true. And he's just, the way he's just presenting himself, he's just kind of chuckling the whole time. And they're like trying to be serious. Yeah. He's like, yeah, dude, this isn't going to end well. Like, whatever America does, they send people over. It's not going to end well. So, yeah, I thought that was interesting. But yeah, it's doing nothing for the economy. It's doing nothing for really anybody. Or anything, so
no one wants it.
I don't know. It's interesting.
No one wants it. There's like 5 people that want it in the United States. I was at the gym tonight, and I saw on the TV just randomly, it was CNN or Fox or something, and they were saying that polls were showing that the American people is vastly against this bombing.
It's like really makes you think, folks. Really makes you think.
And why are we doing it exactly? Some kind of vague idea of, well, they were going to attack Israel first, so we had to jump in and attack them. And everyone in America is just like, hey, man, like, I remember 20 years ago, you actually gave us a reason. Mm-hmm. Now, it was ridiculous, the reason that you gave. But you at least tried to give people the reason.
No, it's just...
See, they fucked up this time. They went to war first before the terrorist attack.
Mm-hmm.
See how it works? So the people's against the bombing. They got to do the terrorist attack first. They should have learned from George Bush, a real innovator, a real genius, if you will.
Hey, man. Segues us right into this movie perfectly. Tell me about Iron Man 2.
An ubermensch figure, Tony Stark, has to deal with the fact that the nuclear reactor in his chest that is keeping him alive is also slowly killing him. While he waits for a Deus Ex Machina, he has to deal with Russians, alcoholism, corporate arms dealers, pesky best friends, and secretive government agencies. After willpowering his way to a cure, he has to team back up with his friend he got in a fight with earlier in the movie in order to stop a terrorist attack on his technology exposition.
Very nice. Iron Man 2. First of the superhero movies ever on this podcast, might be the last. Talk to me about it.
A long time coming, folks. I mean, listen, we officially entered the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And I don't know, I have like a love-hate relationship with the MCU personally. Yep. I mostly hate it because I don't think that they're like real. Like, I'm more willing to kind of just watch some slap movie than you, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm at the point in my life where I'm so busy that if something comes out, like I'll text you and be like, all right, this might be worth seeing. A trailer. There are seemingly some good trailers that pop up on my YouTube every now and then. I'm like, I should definitely, mark this off to go when this comes out. And then I just totally forget about it. But then I don't hear hype about it. So it just kind of fades away and I never watch it. So yeah, I'm only seeing a new movie once in a blue moon, which is probably not good considering we're doing a movie podcast. But anyway.
I mean, I kind of died off watching these movies after Endgame.
Yeah.
But whatever the one was where they culminated all these movies together in something where they killed Thanos. I stopped watching it after that. They had TV shows and more movies, but I stopped caring
the TV
really.
Segment is just brutal.
And, I did the bad thing about these movies is the whole time I kind of knew that it was just doing what it was doing to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
The industry. And it's, something along the lines of, I think we've talked about it, the Con Airs, the Armageddons.
Yeah, dude. Sucks.
The face-offs.
They don't
The
exist.
summer blockbusters. They don't exist now because now it's, well, how about we go see Thor Ragnarok? How about we see Iron Man 7? By the way, like, I don't think we're going to, I thought about this the other day. I'm watching this movie, I think to myself, wait a second. Spoiler alert for everyone listening. They kill Tony Stark off in Endgame, they had like a bunch of years where there's all these other movies and stuff.
Yeah.
They don't make as much money.
Does he come back?
And they're like, yeah, they're having a new Avengers movie, and they're having Robert Downey Jr. come back as a different character.
See, dude, this is what I'm talking about.
Doctor Doom. They're having to come back as Doctor Doom. I'm like, how does that is absurd slop nonsense.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I just can't take this shit serious. Get on with it. Go ahead.
So they just realize, listen, we don't have to hire writers because all the stories are already done.
Yeah.
All we got to do is hire people to rewrite them into movie scripts.
Mm-hmm.
Stories are already there.
Right.
We just, so it's less talented writers. They don't have to innovate anything.
Right.
Right. And it's just like they know everyone's going to go see these movies because they're invested in this whole universe now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, we don't have to take a risk on anything anymore.
Yeah. That's all it is. It's money. It's the studios. That's all it is. They won't take risks on those movies. I mean, we've talked about this before ad nauseum. It's like, the Con Airs, the Armageddons, all those. They're risky movies nowadays. This is a guaranteed payday.
You don't, like in the 90s and whatever, I think the idea was you'd get a movie over with the actors, Travolta and Nick Cage in an action movie. I have no idea what this is about, but they haven't done me wrong, Nick Cage and Travolta yet, so I'll just go into the movie theater and check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now it's like the idea is they're going to sell the movie on the fact that it's connecting the story from Ant-Man 2 to the new Avengers movie. And you're like, what?
Well, that's the whole thing. Then you have to go watch that other movie. That's the whole point. It's like, okay, now we can just parallel them all. And it's like, okay, now the viewer has to go watch this other movie. That's it, to get the storyline. Well, it's pretty obvious anyway to begin with. So,
have you ever seen any of the MCU movies? I guess, what's your history with superhero movies in general?
So, I don't know, man. I saw the early ones, the Batmans, the Spider-Mans, the Hulks, right? And then it just got out of control. And for years, and this is a shout out to our buddy Frankie. He's probably super pumped we're doing this episode because he loves all these movies, sees them the day they come out multiple times. And he's always kind of giving me, she's like, dude, you got to watch this movie. So finally I did see Deadpool with him because I'm like, okay, this is a little bit different from the standard script. So I would say besides the early ones, Deadpool was probably the last one I saw. And I haven't seen anything since until watching this.
I think Deadpool was literally 10 years ago.
Well, there you go. It's like, but my problem with it is like, they picked the worst characters to base this on. I don't know how the genesis of all this happened. Back when it was, it was not Iron Man. It was, the Batmans, Spider-Mans, Hulk, like the main characters. I'm like, okay, these are good characters. Then something happened where they just introduced Iron Man, Thor, like all these characters. And I'm like, Hawkeye. And they were like, this is the Avengers. This is the franchise. This is what we're going to do. And I forgive me if I'm not up on the whole comic book superhero thing, but to me, who grew up with these, I'm like, these are the shittiest characters.
These characters are whack.
Where's the Gambit, right? Where's Silver Surfer? Where's Colossus? Where's Juggernaut? Like, you talk about people having their dude, you don't think like Juggernaut movies, a standalone movie would be awesome?
I think it would be awesome, especially if it was like the Juggernaut from the Deadpool movie where it's like the CGI gigantic. I think he's more of a CGI character.
Well, and I guess
not the one from the third X-Men movie.
At the end of the day, I think what it was I was a big X-Men fan growing up. I always loved X-Men before any of this nonsense. The MCU, DC, whatever. I don't even know. I think they cross paths. I don't know. I can't keep up with this shit. But I was always a big X-Men guy with all the video games, like the action figures. So apparently, from what I understand, like all the early X-Men movies blew, which I guess they did. And then they never, revitalized it. And this came into play. And again, dude, these movies are visually awesome. I'll give it that. And, we'll get into later on in this, breakdown is like, there's some good parts to it. But to just beat it into the ground the way they have is just That's my problem with it. So it's one of those things where I had a kind of, I like different types of movies. I like artsy movies. So by the fourth or fifth year that this was just nonstop, you go to the box office and you have 2 Marvel movies, like, it's a one-off movie of a character. You have your typical horror movie, like a animated movie, and maybe like a rom-com. It's like, there's no movies left. They're not doing good movies.
Yeah.
That was my problem. So I had just this disdain for it, right? And I haven't watched one since. And I feel like I haven't missed much because it just seems like the same slop. You know?
You really haven't, in my opinion, because I watched all of these movies, basically, not in the movie theater. I usually just watch them randomly. But I think part of the reason why, this is one of the crazy things, is you were mentioning like these characters and everything. You don't enjoy these characters. I think they started with these characters. One of the reasons was because they didn't have the rights to those characters that you're talking about.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Like in the late 90s, I believe Marvel Comics was not financially in a great place.
Right.
So they licensed their characters to different studios in order to make movies, video games, whatever. And so they didn't have the license to all these characters until like a couple years ago. And they were like, well, what characters did we have?
Yeah.
Well, we got this guy, Tony Stark.
Dude. And the thing of it is I guess it was kind of weird for me because they introduced this whole thing with Iron Man and I wasn't into Iron Man. Right. And then they have Robert Downey Jr., who, respect him as an actor, he's entertaining. But even this one, I think I did see the first one and I was kind of like, whatever. And then this one, like, you can just tell that Robert Downey Jr. is just leaning into this character a little bit too hard because it's just coming off as super cringe. Did you get this? Did you kind of get this whole thing where it's like, I'm sure he's going by the script, but it's just like overkill, the character. Like being
You're talking about like the cocky
it's
asshole.
Just way too much and it just comes off as super cringe. Now, mind you, to be fair to this movie, it's 2010, right? So it's old.
Mm-hmm.
But that's no excuse. I mean, we're reviewing movies from, the 60s. But my point is like, I watched this back, I'm like, oh, this is kind of bad. Yeah.
Is Tony Stark Jester? Is he Jester maxing?
He's Jester maxing, yes.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
But yeah, I think it comes off a little bit over the top and I'm like, yeah. You can tell this is the second movie and the first one had a ton of success. People were adoring him. It just is what it is. So for me,
I kind of grew up reading comics and like my brother would get comics and everything. And I was and also in the 90s, there was a bunch of cartoons that I watched. Like everyone knows the X-Men animated series, big into that, huge into it.
Same.
But they also had a Fantastic Four cartoon, they had a Spider-Man cartoon, and they had a Iron Man cartoon. And it was like on Fox, like the same production house.
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't as good as X-Men or anything, but they were okay. But the reason I'm bringing that up is because I kind of liked Iron Man from back then. My vision of Iron Man is not Robert Downey Jr. and this cocky asshole kind of like this whole thing, this gimmick that he does. It's this mullet Chad Iron Man from the mid 90s. Like if you want a vision of what I'm talking about, go look at like Marvel versus Capcom, the video game.
Yeah.
That's my vision of Iron Man, right?
And it's funny you bring that up because I vaguely recall I was always a big War Machine guy, and I think it was from the video games. I'm like, he shoots lasers out of his hands, Iron Man. And I'm like, then you got this guy War Machine who's just shooting missiles and bullets. I'm like, all right, this dude's badass. And I was kind of I took to him more than Iron Man, even though I didn't really take to him at all. As again, more of like an X-Men guy. But yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I specifically recall, I was like, yeah, dude, this War Machine dude's badass. I like him.
Now, I think this MCU, it really goes off the rails at one point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even when I'm watching the two big movies, it was Infinity War and Endgame. At that point, I was somewhat checked out, but I was so invested. I was like, I have to just watch the end of this. Fine. But at this point in the MCU, this is Iron Man 2.
Right.
I was still kind of like, okay, I kind of liked Iron Man 1. I was into it. I didn't really see Thor. I thought the Hulk with Edward Norton was like, okay.
Yeah.
Some elements of it I liked.
Catches a lot of flack, I know.
And I was like, let's try this. Let's see Iron Man 2. Like, Mickey Rourke's in it.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Rockwell's in it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm going to give this a shot. And the point I'm making is just that there wasn't this whole weight of the MCU yet
right
on this movie. It was kind of just like a regular superhero sequel to a movie that I thought was pretty good, Iron Man 1.
Yeah. It wasn't the beast that it became, and it has become.
Yeah, exactly. And in fact, it's strange because a lot of people that are super into the MCU and everything, they don't like Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
And I always thought that was rather strange. I was like, Iron Man 2 kind of rules.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and I just have to throw it out there that I am aware that the whole MCU they rolled out, because obviously it's a moneymaker, and a lot of it's for the kids, because a lot of kids get big on these movies. But again, dude, it's just, they just oversaturate the market with it. It's just way too much. It takes away from production of other films. So I have to throw that out there, that I respect the fact that kids are into it. It's a way for them to get into it as well, with physical comic books not being around as prevalent as they were in the 90s and whatnot. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. It just irks me. And it
irks you.
That's the reason that I haven't watched any of these movies. But I did watch this one per your request. And I think the reason was because our boy, Sam Rockwell's in it. And I want to just throw out this point to our listeners. It's like, this podcast was not started just to glorify Sam Rockwell, even though we've done maybe like 2 or 3, 4 of his movies. But we just kind of thought the quote from Turtles was cool, and we just ran with it. So, Regular Menthol. And he's kind of one of my favorite actors. So we just threw in a couple of his movies early because they're so good.
I mean, it's somewhat become that we've just somewhat glorified this man, but I think it's warranted, because it's not only that he's like an awesome actor, it's like his facial expressions in every movie are so fucking funny that it's like you have to point him out and be like, this guy actually rules.
No,
why is he not getting?
He's awesome.
Why is he not an A-list actor?
It's because he's not like your A-list guy, right? As you would normally see, you know what I mean? They never want him to be the lead man, but he's too good of an actor that he kind of demands a leading actor, you know what I mean, attention. So we're just kind of bring that to light, I think, and some of the characters that he's played. But yeah, I mean, first time watching this, you remember this? Did you see this in theaters?
Absolutely.
20 times?
I saw it in a theater,
wow,
like on a date.
Excuse me?
And I basically, this is before I was a chud incel. I actually went on a date before.
And you took her to Iron Man too.
Yeah, because she was like a fan of Iron Man in a weird way. And I had a Razr flip phone back then. I just remember that. Nice. I can tell you that. What a time to be alive it was, 2010. Oh, damn.
Yes.
Before the world ended.
Very nice. That was about the last year, one of the last years before it ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're literally me character. Who inspired you in this movie? Who inspired you?
I mean, I guess there's only one character, and that's Vanko, or whatever you pronounce it, because he wants to take out Tony Stark the entire movie. I'm like, yeah, me too. That's the only character I can relate to. How about yourself?
I mean, I'm literally Tony Stark, dog. Like, I have alcoholism. I just say goofy shit to women, and I really want an Audi R8.
Is that what that was?
The same guy.
Audi R8?
Yeah, the product placement in this movie. Holy shit. Audi just paying Marvel just goofy amount of money to be the official car of Tony Stark. Kind of sickening, to be honest with you, but I love Audi R8 so much that it's just like, I don't even care.
Hey, man, if you get your business, respect. Get into some of these fun facts. Yeah. I was going to say, fun facts. This is your movie, so you take them today.
So think about this for a second, okay? A lot of the MCU has this kind of goofy, funny attitude to it, right?
Mm.
And I think to myself, I'm like, they just had 2 movies that started this. Iron Man 2, and it was directed by Jon Favreau.
Yeah.
who plays Happy Hogan in this movie.
Mhm.
But you're like, this is the homie from Swingers.
Yes.
Does this movie and that whole MCU kind of vibe remind you at all of like the world of Swingers? And furthermore, is Iron Man in the same universe as Swingers?
You're so money, you don't even know it, baby. You're so money.
Yeah, like when you're watching this movie, do you pick up on things like, oh, I kind of see this is Jon Favreau directing this? Does that come through to you at all?
Give me an example.
Like all the jokey kind of things where there's these like the dialogue between Tony Stark and these women.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is this?
I don't know, man. This seems to me like forced writing, the jokes, the
so
one-liners, It seems more down to earth in Swingers, obviously, than this. This is like a,
That's a bold statement considering it's a guy in an iron suit.
Exactly. Nah, dude, I don't know. I think that, but Swingers is more, it's like a bro movie, I guess. So it's going to be more relatable versus this. It's a big budget film covering a vast target audience. So it just has to be these stupid one-liners that kind of make you laugh. I don't know. I'm not seeing the connection.
Also interesting to me is the writer of this movie is Justin Theroux.
Yeah. Yep.
Bryce. This is Bryce from American Psycho and Adam and Mulholland Drive, two absolute just Kino movies. And you're like, dude, Justin Theroux is just a scriptwriter.
Mm-hmm.
He's an actor in all these different movies and everything, but he's also a scriptwriter.
There's some of these guys in Hollywood that surprise you, man. It's like they're multi-talented. They can do it all. He's one of them.
A renaissance man. You're talking to one right now. I got my scripts ready to go on my Google Drive.
Nah, dude. Theroux was also the lead in the show Leftovers, which my wife and I watched back in the day. Good show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. He kills it. He's a good front man. He's a good leading man. He can do it.
Yeah. And then finally, Sam Rockwell and Leslie Bibb are in this movie together. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Miss Bibb.
I'm not.
And her.
Which one is she?
Her work. She's like the reporter that is trying to get a quote.
Oh, yeah.
And
we're watching a show with her right now. What's that called? The White Lotus? Which, ironically enough, Sam Rockwell is in the 3rd season. The next episode we're about to watch. Yeah, I know.
So they've been dating since 2007.
Mm-hmm.
Your thoughts? This guy just not going to get married?
I mean, he's the man because she's hot. She's the wife in Talladega Nights, I think, right?
Well, I can tell you this. I looked up pictures of the two of them, and she kind of mogs them.
How dare you
in every picture
of Sam Rockwell that way?
Yeah, I mean, I'll obviously let it slide for the king, but like, it's just alarming when you go to Google Images sometimes.
Yeah, well, weird couple, I guess is what you're asking. Sure. But if it works. And yeah, probably just never going to get married, dude. He's in Hollywood. He's like, that's like the kiss of death, getting married in Hollywood. Don't they like...
You hate to see that.
Don't they typically pair you up with people in Hollywood?
Well, boy, I don't know. That seems like speculation, Big Chris, but apt to believe it, sure.
Yeah.
If you get out of line...
Oh, boy.
Hey, get back in line. Get back in line.
This is who you're going to date, and you're going to like it. It's like
like
arranged marriages, that's all. Anyway.
You said something strangely off color. Well, now you have to be involved in this relationship. I'm sorry.
Let's get into some of these.
The rules.
Let's get into some of these Kino scenes. What do you got?
So right off the bat, you're just in Russia, and the bad guy is Mickey Rourke. Now, I think to myself when I'm watching this, oh, Mickey Rourke, he's on a little bit of a comeback tour here, huh? And listen, I'm here for it. This dude wasn't getting any work for years. He was like a huge star in the early 90s and the 80s.
80s, 90s.
And then he just gets this role in The Expendables, premiering this new crazy plastic surgery roided out look. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, dude. Mickey Rourke. I'm a big Mickey Rourke guy. I definitely have the wrestler on this episode list that we're going to eventually do, which I know. Have you seen The Wrestler? I think we talked about this. And you surprised. I was like dumbfounded that you didn't watch that movie. Have you seen it since?
No, I didn't. I've never seen it.
Oh, dude.
I've seen stupid amount of actual professional wrestling.
Well, that's my point. Is like, if anyone should have seen that movie, it should have been you. But yeah, he absolutely. I like Mickey Rourke, but I remember it was probably a couple years ago now where they're putting out all these photos of him where he's wearing like these tight clothes and he looks like a lesbian with plastic surgery. I'm like, what's going on with this guy? He looks completely insane. And then he bulks up and then he lost a ton of weight. Same thing was going on with that guy Batista. Ironically, isn't he a wrestler? He like lost a ton of weight and he's like jacked back up. It's like, what's going on with these guys, dude? I do not know. This is Hollywood.
Well, I don't know about Mickey. Mickey Rourke looks like he probably just had a busted up face, right? And he was like, "I'm going to get back in Hollywood, so do plastic surgery and roids." But with Batista, he was roided to the gills for years in WWE, and my opinion is that he got some kind of health scare.
Yeah, maybe.
Or the doctor was like, "Hey, bud, I don't know if you know this, but guys over 300 pounds don't live that long.
Yeah,
maybe you should cut the roids a bit." So
R.I.P.
Exactly. The R.I.P. So he probably stopped, cut back a little bit, and he looked a little bit smaller, and people were giving him mad shit. It's like, I think the guy's just trying to not die.
Well, what's the play there? Like, let's say that you're a Hollywood actor. He's just roided out. Like, an entertainer, what do you want to call it? Whether it's WWF, whatever. And what's the play there? I mean, how long, when do you go off it? At what age? Look at Arnold. Arnold's still in good shape.
Arnold's in good shape, but Arnold also had like mad heart surgeries.
I'm sending people down the rabbit hole of roids with you, man. Sorry, everybody.
Yeah. So basically, what's the age? I mean, I don't know, 50s maybe. It depends on how. See, but the problem with Batista is that he was just blasting like a maniac for so many years.
Yeah.
That, I mean, your heart is a muscle, and it collects all that roid energy. As a super non-technical way of saying it, but your heart will grow too.
Right.
So at some point you got to really dial it back.
Yeah.
And someone who blasts that much probably has to really dial it back. But I don't know. I mean, you could, if he's going back on the sauce and he's bulking up again, you can probably just blast and cruise.
Yeah.
From here on out, blast for a roll, then just cruise because it's just not worth it.
Maybe that's what he's doing. Maybe he gets that small in between. I don't know.
100%.
I don't know the specifics behind it.
100%.
Yeah.
He's not wrestling anymore.
Right.
He doesn't need to wrestle, so he doesn't need to stay big all year.
Yeah, but in what is it, 2047? He's kind of yoked. He's huge. So.
Yeah, but that was like before he stopped blasting.
Right.
That was 2017.
Was it really?
Believe it or not. Yeah, like that was a long. It's crazy to think about, but that was a long time ago.
Time is a flat circle.
I just think, like we were talking about earlier, my vision of Tony Stark versus, the one in the MCU. Now, I like Robert Downey Jr. I kind of like what he did with the character and everything. It's more based on, I think, this comic book that came out in the 2000s called The Ultimates, which is basically a way for them to just rewrite the stories without it being weird.
Mm-hmm.
And I always thought, the 90s version was my Iron Man and everything. But if anyone's listening to this, and you're curious what I'm talking about, I mentioned Marvel vs. Capcom, but there's also a video that is the most insane shit I've ever seen in my life. And it's the opening to the Iron Man cartoon from the mid 90s. And just go on YouTube and look up Iron Man TAS Intro 2. And it's this crazy shit where it's like the most testosterone movie, the most testosterone intro of all time. Have you seen it?
No, I have not seen it. No, I got to watch this. You said Iron Man TAS Intro 2.
Yeah.
Going in.
And it's like the Vitruvian Man. There's something very Nietzschean about Iron Man in that he's just like this guy that like willpowers. He builds shit. If there's a problem, he gets over it with his willpower.
Isn't that Batman?
It is Batman, correct. Okay. Yeah, like they're similar characters,
I guess my point is the overlap of all these characters. And that's what kind of irks me about these movies is, again, I can't talk to it because, to be fair, I haven't seen all these, but I'm watching this through. I see how linear the storyline is. Okay, this is how I could fast forward through half of it because I'm like, okay, I know this is coming next. They have to have this insert scene of X, Y, and Z. They have to check that box off. They have to check that box off. And that's it. I mean, we'll get to it. There are some parts that I thought were really well done, and I appreciate them putting it in there, but that's my problem with it. It's pretty linear, and these characters, even though they're all unique and have their own special powers and all that, there's some overlap there, and it's like there's only so much you can do, I guess, with these characters, making them like original.
There's this next scene where Congress gets Tony Stark to testify on his weapons, and the leader of the Armed Services Committee is this guy named Senator Stern, and he's played by Gary Shandling. Now, I just like to say, like, Gary Shandling rules, specifically talking about the Larry Sanders Show from the 90s. Are you familiar with what I'm talking about in the
clue
slightest?
What I'm talking about. No.
Okay. Like, I've seen
He looks
Gary
kind of
Shandling.
familiar.
It's funny because I saw this movie. I was like, there's Gary Shandling.
Right.
I've only seen him in like the Larry Sanders Show and
Iron Man
Curb
2.
Your Enthusiasm and Iron Man 2. Like, that's it. But the Larry Sanders Show was this thing that my brother used to watch on HBO. And I was like, this is the funniest show ever. I don't know why I liked it so much. I just thought it was really funny. But I'm like, oh, there he is. And he's just the perfect, like, looking human for this, like, smarmy prick of a senator.
Yeah, dude. This scene, it kind of caught me as well. And I'm like, I'm glad you brought it up, because have you ever watched a Senate deposition in real life on YouTube or something? Have you ever watched these?
I've never watched like a whole one because I just can't get through it.
Right.
I've watched, enough of it to know where you're going with this and what you're talking about, though.
It's peak theater, bro. I mean, I watched it
Yeah.
probably, with all the divisiveness in politics over the past like decade, and I watched a lot of these, and I'm thinking to myself, is anyone they bring forward who's at like at the higher level, is there ever anything handed down to them? Do they ever get in trouble? Is there ever any jail time? It's just a charade to me. I'm watching these. I'm like, this is not real, dude. And it's funny because in this scene, Tony Stark just kind of does his own thing, and he's arrogant and talks over them. And like, this is what happens in real life. This is no different. This is not serious. These depositions are not serious.
Well, the pain of watching the real life ones is that there's no guy that is answering the questions in the deposition that's this charismatic Tony Stark character. They're all these stiffs.
Yeah, these schlubs.
They have zero charisma, so they can't just give these quick comedic timing one-liners back. Like they take it so like, oh, my word has to be so true. I'm on the record here.
Yeah. As if anything's gonna ever happen to them.
Right.
That's my point.
Like if you went to Congress, it would have like, yeah, sure, bud. Sure, bud, whatever.
My point is, I've never seen any of these people catch charges. Ever.
Yeah, I believe that it actually is, to use a wrestling term, kayfabe.
Mm-hmm. Meaning?
It's ridiculous theater. It's not real. There's both sides are owned by like the same dude, probably.
Exactly.
Ridiculous nonsense.
It's all just to keep people believing.
But Mr. Chris, but my side is right. Your side has the guy that's worse.
Yeah, spoiler.
Don't you get it?
There is no.
We have to vote harder.
There is no such thing as my side and your side, dude. It's all the same people. Anyhow.
Dude, you're not voting hard enough.
I love it. So good.
And it's in this theater, this Senate hearing, we're introduced to Justin Hammer, played by Sam Rockwell. And I just, like, even back then, I was a Sam Rockwell fan. I'm like, oh, dude, here's my guy.
Yeah.
Here's literally my guy. Here we go. Good. Okay, now I'm kind of locked in on this movie now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I can stop paying attention to my date, and I can just lock in on Sam Rockwell. Here we go. So look at his acting in this. Like I wanted to do this podcast just to force you, Chris, to watch this movie, because I suspected you would never watch this movie otherwise.
Yeah, it's funny because...
Is that fair to say?
I would have never. And the irony of it is I own and have watched probably 95% of his films, because when I started getting into acting, there's like a handful of guys I'm like, okay, kind of studying this. I'm going to classes and everything. I'm like, okay, I like this guy's cadence. I like this guy's delivery. This very natural. And even some of his like early low budget shit where he's the lead guy. I can't even name some of these movies anymore. But I'm like, okay, I'm studying this shit. But yes, I would have never watched this. And I know that this was a role that he did. But it just never would have struck me as, okay, I got to watch this. Because I just figured it's like, okay, it's probably going to be him being, talented, but he's kind of handcuffed with the script. I'm sure he brings a cool character to it, which he does. But I'm like, all right, well, I'm not really missing much. So I just never watched it. But I appreciate you making me watch it because it's a good movie. I'm not shitting on this movie by any means. It's a good movie. But yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say though, I don't know if you're going with this, but I don't think he steals the show per se. But then again, he doesn't get a lot of screen time.
He doesn't get a lot of screen time.
And neither does Mickey, to be fair to Mickey Rourke. Mickey Rourke does not get a lot of screen time. And I think he's a great actor. And I think this is a cool
could argue that Mickey Rourke steals the show more.
Maybe.
But
maybe it's because he has less screen
right. Neither of these guys have any screen time in this movie. But I know you are a Sam Rockwell fan. I'm like, this guy will never watch this movie. He will literally never watch this movie unless it's forced upon him.
Yeah.
At an Iron Man gunpoint. And it's like, I don't know. There is a considerable amount of Sam Rockwell Kino in this movie, though. Because the times that he is on screen, he does shine. Like he's describing what Stark did with creating this Iron Man weapon. Mm-hmm. And he does this like little shimmy. He's like, he asks us to trust him. Mm-hmm. I'm like, that's not on the page, dude. That's like him doing that.
Yeah, of course.
It's not on the page. He's just coming up. Excuse me.
Salute.
And it's something like that is so irrelevant to the story and the script, but he throws it in because it adds to his character.
Yeah.
And that's like that's like these little things that just like make Rockwell great, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it cuts to Stark in his garage, and he's got this sick computer setup with a heads-up display.
3 monitors?
And,
3 monitors?
3 monitors, but it's like these lasers that shoot all over. And I'm like, this is so rad. And at the time, in an AI that he talks to, Jarvis, it's like at the time, this didn't exist.
2010?
Yeah, and now it does.
When did Alexa come out?
I don't know. But that's like Alexa is just like, that's a great question.
2014 Alexa. So 4 years later.
These things now that just came out like 3 months ago are literally Jarvis. You can put on your computer now. OpenClaw and Claude Code. You can have it just run your computer and you can talk to it via messaging. Mm. And I'm like, this is actually crazy.
Yeah, you were telling me about
real
this.
Life.
It's completely insane.
How long? So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, we got the AI now from Iron Man. Mm. How long until we get the actual suit?
I mean, I'm in the camp of it's already released, bro. They already have these in like top secret warehouses to release.
Yeah, like,
well, you don't need these really when you think about it because you have the drones now. Like think about what's happening right now with the war that's happening right now, right? Even the war that's been going on with Russia and Ukraine. It's like they've been doing this drones for the past 5-6 years, easy.
And I think okay, but drones aren't cool.
Well, that's a different conversation.
Like, how come Gundams don't exist yet?
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Brass tacks. Like, yeah. Well,
can we get some Gundams? Like, Musk, what the fuck are you doing with your stupid bullshit companies? Start making Gundams.
You don't know.
What are you doing?
You don't know that he hasn't, though. You don't know that he hasn't.
He better have a Gundam in his garage and just like not tell anyone, because what else are you going to do with, $500 billion for real? If you had $500 billion, what would you do? You know that
guy has a Gundam suit. There's no question about it.
I would be making a Gundam, 100%.
Well, isn't 100%. The character? He's in this movie, right?
Elon Musk is in this movie. You're correct.
Isn't I don't know. I don't even know, dude. 2010, was he even a thing at that time? Was the character Hammer kind of molded after him? I don't even know the answer to that.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Hammer's more of a Paul LaRue character, just straight selling weapons. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, like Elon Musk has this cameo in this movie, and I think to myself watching this, he's like, "Yeah, Tony, I got idea for a electric helicopter or some shit. I'm like, dude, remember in 2010 when people liked Elon Musk?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The liberals, they love this guy because he's going to, oh, dude, he's making electric cars. Wow, that's the future. I saw that on the Jetsons. And that's going to save the environment. And we're going to live in a utopia. Thank you, Elon Musk. A mere 10 years later, this guy, he's like, I'm buying Twitter. You're allowed to say anything you want on Twitter again. All the banned accounts are unbanned now.
Dude. Yeah, it's a hell of a thing. I remember specifically, he's probably one of the best heel turns in history, where beloved by the left, and now they hate him, and now the right's like, oh yeah, he's our guy. I recall vividly back in, I want to say it's like 2013, a family friend, we were at a beach house, and we're up late night drinking one night. He's like, dude, this Elon Musk guy, he's the future, man. Like, just going on this tangent for like an hour, telling me how awesome he is. And this was back when he was like still nerd. Musk, I mean, maybe he still is a nerd, I guess, but he's going on all night about this guy. I'm like, dude, I kind of know who he is, don't really care, whatever. Nowadays, this guy, he hates him. He's like, he's a piece of shit, yada, yada, yada. Musk, it's like, is he still making cars that are good for the environment? I don't know, is he? Why would you hate him? I don't know.
I don't know. Did that ever help the environment, to be honest?
I don't know.
Don't even know that.
It didn't, because I think the battery? To get a new battery, it's like just as bad as the lifetime of a regular car. I don't know. People,
Hey, maybe the battery technology is getting better, because my phone is 10 years old, and my battery is just powerful as hell.
Yeah, it's something about the batteries, like, just as hazardous for the environment. I don't know. You can't have all good things. And when you charge them, dude, you're using a lot of energy, which isn't good for the earth.
Yeah, how many times do you go to Wawa and you just see all the lined up Tesla cars at the charging stations, and you think to yourself, nah. Nah.
It comes from somewhere.
Not happening.
Yeah. Well, I never really see them, honestly. I mean, out where I'm at, people
You don't see them at Wawa?
Nah, dude. People drive trucks out where I'm at. It's like,
no shit.
Yeah, I don't even know that our Wawa has a charging station.
Oh, bro. At my Wawa that I go to, every time I go, there's like 6 cars lined up,
really?
And they're at charging stations, and they have to sit there for, let's say, more than 10 minutes.
I thought it was like a half an hour to charge it full.
It probably is, but I wanted to be kind to them. I wanted to just, for a conservative amount, let's say it's 10 minutes. Imagine sitting at a Wawa 10 minutes, and you just got to sit there and take it while Chud Me pulls up in a Hyundai accent, and I just roll out in 2 minutes. Sorry, Chuds. But then again, I got a 9-gallon tank.
Yeah.
And I'm paying 30 some bucks. Maybe they're not paying as much for their energy. I don't know. But they're paying in their time, though. I can tell you that. Yeah. And the humiliation of having to sit there and have me look at them with the absolute disdain.
It's the truth. Well, then after this, I want to make this point. You're introduced to Scarlett Johansson's character. And
oh boy.
I'm thinking to myself, wait a second. Because I have seen some of these trailers. I'm like, isn't she a Marvel character? I don't know what's going on here. I think later in the movie, she's part of the team when Nick Fury introduces her to Tony. I'm like, I can't keep these people in line. What is she?
Bro,
I know she's
You're not.
I know she's a super.
You're not up to speed with the Black Widow.
That's what she is. She's Black Widow. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, but it brings me to my next point. Have to ask the obvious question here: is she hot? Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, she's hot in this movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
Your take on that? Because I mean,
well, it's for me. It's like I think Gwyneth Paltrow's hotter, personally.
Yeah,
I think
Gwyneth Paltrow's hot in this movie too.
I've never got the whole hype behind Scarlett Johansson. Obviously, she's super pretty, but I'm like, people overhype her. Like, dude, she's like, and this is 2010. People are like, she's the hottest chick in Hollywood. And I'm like, okay, she's pretty, but I don't know. There's a weird thing where I just never got behind the Scarlett.
No, I kind of feel you on that. I think she's hot in this movie, but I do think that she's also overhyped.
Yeah, fair enough. But I have heard that Gwyneth Paltrow is a handful in real life, like miserable.
Really?
Yeah. I've heard that before.
A handful.
That's true. Who knows?
Oh, hate to see it. So, at this one scene here, Tony Stark. He's at Monaco. They're watching an F1 race, and
yeah, dude,
Tony Stark is dying. progressively from this poisoning, from this nuclear reactor, whatever the hell it is in his chest. And so he kind of just is being super reckless with his life because he feels like it could be any day now he's going to die. So I'm not sure about the viability of just deciding that you're going to go down and race a Formula One race.
Well,
I feel like that wouldn't be allowed even if you do own the team.
Yeah, I'll tell you the answer to that. Short answer is no, it wouldn't happen. I'm a big F1 guy. I mean, I'm not a super fan or anything, but it's like this guy's supposed to be in great shape, Tony Stark, but I can guarantee you he could not race with these dudes. These dudes do these neck exercises. I mean, you saw the movie F1, so you at least are somewhat familiar with it. I mean, it's obviously a movie, but dude, some of these drivers, they have to be able to withstand 5Gs, 6Gs with their necks going around the turns. Because you're going around these turns like a couple 100 miles an hour. The short answer is no. You wouldn't be able to do it. You have to qualify. You have to be like a legitimate racer. Can't just jump into the car. But it's a movie, so to be fair.
Now, I understand, listen, that Vanko is working with limited parts when he was in Russia. But why not just wait to get more parts and build yourself a whole ass suit instead of just this, I don't know, just the middle part of the suit with these whips on your hands?
Yeah.
So he's just got an exposed body with these whips, whereas he could have just waited and built the whole suit to protect his, I don't know,
exposed skin. No, dude, you bring up a good point here because I thought about that, and then I thought about that later in the movie. It's like, I know that Hammer was trying to push it, like really push the time constraints on having him do this during this expo or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm thinking to myself, well, dude, now you have funding, like you're trying to really kill Tony Stark. And they even mentioned something about where he's like, I don't want to kill him, I want to humiliate him. But it's like, what's the rush, dude? Just wait until you get better tech, like figure this thing out. It just, to your point, it seemed both times you went after him, it was like rushed. It's like, well, dude.
Totally rushed.
And again, going back to your point with what he has the opportunity to cut this car in half with Happy and Pepper in the car. And just doesn't do it. He cuts it in half and cuts the one side off. I'm like, dude, if he was really trying, he should be good enough with these things where he could just slice them in half in one whip. And but again, the movie has to happen. What I will say is this is one of the best character reveals for me. Probably I've seen in a long time. It is kind of badass. He's like rolls out, shirt off. He's got the, long hair. It's like this jumpsuit, like a prison jumpsuit that's kind of tied off and it has the lower half. Pretty cool character reveal. I will give him that much. So he's even got.
He just walks out onto the F1 track.
Yeah, bro, and he's rocking a toothpick like he's Driver from Drive. It's a powerful review. I will give him a lot of credit there. So
Hammer breaks Vanko out of prison and brings him to his hangar for dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way Rockwell is talking here is just it's like it's next level, dude. He does this thing where he makes this noise with the food in his mouth after he finishes his sentence. Yeah. And to me, it's just like it conveys so much is said with this little thing where it conveys this coward guy who has his access to table from this intimidating criminal guy, but still feels like he's in control because he's super rich.
Yeah. I know exactly.
And I'm like, all that conveyed just through this little gesture he does with his mouth. Now that might sound crazy, but it's like that's not on the page, dude. He's making this stuff. That's the actor in him.
Yes, correct. And I know exactly what you're referring to. And again, man, I've seen all his movies. I know his normal tics, right? And again, all the characters are very different. But the one thing I'm noticing in this scene is he's in this hangar with this private jet. Everything's all pristine. They're having this like formal dinner with like little toppers on the plates. And I don't know if you caught this, but his hands are dirty. Like, what is going on here with his hand? Like, you see like dirt on his hands, Rockwell. What is this? Go back and watch this sometime. I don't know if that's some kind of Easter egg or some stupid shit they put in there, but it's kind of weird. It's so weird. But I know what you're saying. He that's good acting, man, is when you can really convey a point, like you said, without saying things. And just your natural reaction, your body language. It's, that's why he's so great, man. That's why big rock.
So smooth, so fluid.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
And there's this party scene where Stark is shit-faced on stage in his suit.
Goes off the rails here for me.
Yeah. And Pepper tries to get him to tell everyone to go home early. Party's over. And Stark shoots this glass window by accident and just, rolls with it. He starts launching bottles up in the air and shooting them with his lasers. And the camera cuts to him and he's just like, yeah! And I realized, dude, I was like, if I had an Iron Man suit in real life, I'd be that crazy every day.
Every day. Yeah.
I would just be going completely insane.
They would just take you out.
Because I'd be like,
the government would take you out.
How?
I don't know.
Well, I'd have to sleep.
Right.
They'd shoot like poison gas at me or some shit, or like I'd have to sleep. They'd figure out who I was, and they'd assassinate me in my sleep.
Well, you're that much of a genius like Tony Stark. You would have figured that out. Like, remember when he references that when she's like, you have to pee and he pees in the suit. He's like, don't worry, it's purified. Yeah. It's purified. So he thinks
just live in the suit.
Live in the suit. That's it. So I get it.
Incredible. Just live in the suit.
That's what you'd have to do.
And then, I don't know if you know this lore, but I'm somewhat anti Don Cheadle.
Really?
In the MCU.
Okay.
Not in general, but in the MCU, I kind of just don't like his character at all.
Understandable.
And
from what I've seen,
it's like, brother, you're in a Marvel movie.
Right.
All right. I can't take your straight guy act seriously at all. This like too cool for school. I'm going to be serious.
Yeah.
And it's like, Doug, I don't know if you know this. They fired my guy, Terrence Howard.
Oh, boy.
Who played Rhodey in Iron Man 1.
What happened to that guy?
Well, listen, they can say it was about money or whatever, but you and I both know the truth, that it's because Terrence was onto some new math that the elites don't want you to know about.
Oh, boy.
Did you know about that?
I totally forgot about that dude. I know he was, what is it, like the mid-2000s, late 2000s? He was kind of, I don't know if he was divisive per se, but he was very outspoken. And then I think they try to paint him as going crazy or something, and then he fell off the face of the earth. Does he still do movies?
Yeah. I don't think so. The last time I saw him was on the Joe Rogan podcast, like, I don't know, a year or two ago, where he was talking about math the whole time.
Oh, dude,
and how he's doing some new stuff in math where, it was something crazy, like 1 times 1 is 2 or something. I forget the exact thing that he was going on.
That's a Bam Margera thing. Bam Margera, like a couple of years ago, he was figuring out new math. I'm like, this is awesome.
he was like making like a new language on math.
That's what it was. Yeah. So then after that, okay, I'll bring this up. You have Scarlett Johansson. She's now introduced, as I referenced before, as part of Nick Fury's team. And again, you're telling me she's Black Widow. I thought she was a whole different superhero. This is what I'm saying. I can't keep track of this shit, dude. What is she?
Yeah.
Does she have another movie that she does?
Just the Avengers movies.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just like, where are we going here?
Yeah.
I can't keep track of this.
She doesn't really have any superpowers. It's like the Russians trained her to be some kind of MK Ultra assassin like Jason Bourne or something like that. I think that's the premise of it.
Cool. And
yeah,
Samuel L. Jackson, though, I have to point out, when he's not playing an over-the-top actor like this, even though it's a comic book character, Nick Fury, he's really good. And yeah, I will say, Samuel L. Jackson, been in the game for long enough. There may be no more smoother actor of maybe just portraying himself than Samuel L. Jackson. Would you agree?
Yeah, for sure, dude. It's funny.
He knows who he is.
In this movie, he's basically a real cool, calm,
and he plays it very well.
Version of Samuel L. Jackson.
Right, yeah.
Like if you think of him in Die Hard 3, it's the same kind of character, except for in Die Hard 3, he was just yelling more and more stressed out.
Exactly.
It's that same kind of character, except he's not as much screen time, and he's just kind of cool in this movie.
Yeah, 100%, dude. That's exactly what I'm saying. Next scene, this is your scene right here. They talk ballistics with Rockwell, and he's going through this weapons arsenal. You got anything to tell me about these guns? What did you think? The one that caught my attention was the mini railgun. I need to start shooting one of those. That'd be awesome.
I
stood out to you.
What stood out to me is that all these guns look weird. They don't look like real guns.
They didn't have real names either. I don't think.
Yeah, and they're probably like real guns that have modified things on them that make them look futuristic.
Yeah.
There is one called the F-2000 that he mentions, and it's his 5.56 rifle that was just like going to be like the next M4. and they're awesome looking. And the company that was making them just did away with it.
Right.
The project failed, and they just don't make them now. Many such cases. Many early 2000s rifles that are like super awesome looking, and then they just don't make them. They're actually very good too, but he comes out with a 9mm and like a shotgun. I'm like, why would Iron Man need a 9mm handgun? Why would he need like a shotgun when he can shoot lasers out of his hands? What's going on? So you get I thought to myself, I was like, what kind of guns would an Iron Man suit actually have? Well, you got the minigun that he pulls out, and they put that on the War Machine outfit. And then if you notice, all the drones all had, or not, maybe not all of them, but some of them had like the suit, like the 50 cal rifles on their shoulder. And I was like, that would make sense.
Well, that's what I was just going to say is I would say minimum for these mech suits or Gundam suits, whatever we're going to call them, is minimum 50 cal, even if they're just shooting people. I would say that would probably be sufficient. But again, don't know the
for sure,
logistics
because it's a
definitely not.
It's a big suit. The idea of a mech suit like this is to make yourself stronger. So with the extra strength, you can take the extra recoil of larger calibers.
But you can't have as much ammunition because that needs to be stored somewhere.
It's true. And that's why it was like, why even put guns on these things if you can shoot lasers?
Well, they don't have the laser tech yet. I don't think any of those mech suits had laser tech. They just shoot out.
They could.
Guns. Did they shoot lasers? I don't
know. The one dude, the War Machine dude, did shoot the lasers because they shot the lasers at each other's hands.
The ones that come after them from the different.
Oh, the drones or whatever. Yeah. So the idea of guns on the, I was like, well, who would they be fighting?
Right.
Well, they'll be fighting humans or something in theory. So you just shoot them with lasers. But if they're other mechs, would bullets even work against them?
Good question.
I don't know. This gets into this world of speculation.
Yeah.
But a 9mm handgun is not cutting it, so I don't know why I even presented that. Yeah. But anyhow.
Good point. Tony comes into Pepper's office with these strawberries, and I'll tell you what, dude, this wardrobe for me just doesn't hold up. This is 2010, so I understand that, baggier jeans and bell bottoms are still in, but it's not a good look for him because he has these jeans that bunch up at his feet and like go over his shoes, just bringing more attention to the fact that he's 5'8". And I'm like, dude.
Yeah.
Look, in hindsight, this is not a good look. But
it's that whole like guy that wears a suit out in public casual.
Yes, exactly.
Like he's got a sport coat on with jeans and sneakers and not a button up underneath. It's like one of those things.
So you referenced Jarvis earlier, and I'm like thinking to myself, this is the same Jarvis as all the memes, correct? That you've sent me in the past?
Yeah.
Jarvis, do this.
It's basically available right now. Like right now, you can download this on your computer and message it and send voice messages to it, and it'll actually do stuff.
Yeah.
Right? But what's curious, though, is that in the later movies, Jarvis becomes like an AI that gets a body.
Its own entity.
And what?
Its own entity.
Yeah, it becomes this thing, the Vision. Do you remember the Vision?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Never mind that. And the bad guy from Avengers 2 was another AI that Tony Stark made called Ultron.
Okay.
And I'm like, wait a second. So it's like another movie where the AIs just become sentient and just want to start killing everyone.
It's a great plot line. Seen it before.
So basically it's going to happen in real life now. Yeah. Iron Man 2 is telling you what's going to happen in real life.
That's literally. It's funny.
Yeah, and then like, there's a whole scene where Hammer is yelling at Vanko because Vanko is not making the suits that he wants, not on the timeline and everything. And Rockwell just has this fluidity with what he's saying, comes from super calm and jokey to just screaming at Vanko. I don't know if you know this, but I don't speak Russian.
Yeah, it's funny because if you notice, he's yelling at him. And he's like, "How do you like if I take your stuff?" "Well, you took my," and he freaks out. Yeah. He's like pointing at his chest, and it's identical to the movie Moon, where he's like, "I'm Sam fucking Bell. I'm Sam Bell." And I'm like, that's a scene from the Moon. But yeah, it's this exchange between the two of them is actually really good. I like this character. The character contrast between Hammer and Vanko is like really good. And Vanko never really loses his shit because he's like, all right, this guy's also a quote unquote bad guy, but I'm still going to have my powerful Chad presence over him. But I'm still super smart and I can still fix all the tech that he has, even though I've never seen it before. I can also get past his firewall. It's like, it's all right, man. We get it. This guy's like superhuman, and then he just gets bitched out in both of the fights, which is kind of funny. So,
Right.
there you go. But they have to make the movie in a certain amount of time. So then Hammer does this little dance. I don't know if you noticed this when he's walking up on the expo stage. And this is actually the dance that he does from Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. So, folks, if you haven't seen that movie, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, I recommend it. It's a very good one.
This scene actually is very memorable to me because I remember back in 2010, there's an ancient YouTuber named Dark Side Phil.
Oh, boy.
Who was doing YouTube back in like 2008.
Yep.
He's still doing it today. Okay. He became very cringe and is a log cow, but he did a review back in 2010 of Iron Man 2. He said, I like the movie and everything, but my problem was this guy, this CEO Hammer coming out on stage and dancing. And he's like, what CEO would ever do that? And
Ballmer?
Wait a second, bud. Yeah.
Steve Ballmer.
Let me educate this young man immediately. Let me get to the comment section, and I didn't have to do anything. I go down to the comments. The first comment is just Steve Ballmer, and it's got like 500 likes. If you're not familiar with this, folks, look up Steve Ballmer developers.
That's it. And then developers.
This guy comes out. He comes out on stage talking about at some Microsoft conference, talking about the importance of developers, and he just loses his shit. Yes, Steve Ballmer,
Sweating.
the guy, this extremely sweaty guy that owns an NBA franchise now. Mm-hmm. That's the guy.
One of the best videos you ever see, folks. Check it out. But I will say this again. I mentioned there are redeeming qualities of this movie. I do like this movie, and it's like the concept of revealing all these at this expo, all these different military Gundam suits for all the different branches of the military, and then Vanko hacks it and turns them on Iron Man, which I don't even know how to put that into words, but I just thought that was a cool little way to write it in to where he can attack them, the way he's able to match the power of Iron Man, because I think he comes back and he has this new charger in him, or he found this new tech or whatever, Tony Stark. It's like, how are we able to match this guy up? Because he just bitched him out in the first fight. Well, we have these 40 new suits for the 4 branches of the military, and then we can and he's kind of easily taken him out or whatever, but then it's powerful enough to where he has to fight them off. There's a cool scene with him and War Machine, like standing back to back and having to take out all these mech suits. So I just thought that was really cool. The way they wrote that in there was pretty neat. So
yeah, I mean, I was kind of getting uncomfortable watching that because I'm thinking to myself, Iron Man 2 is a prophecy. This is what war is going to look like. Yeah. It's going to be some dude at a desk just piloting drones. And that is happening, by the way. If you watch the Ukraine war footage, it's disturbingly insane.
Yeah.
There's like a guy, it's camera footage. There's a guy shooting up in the air. And then you just see the camera getting closer to the guy and it blows up.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, that was a drone.
Yeah, that's AI, bro. It's not real.
That's AI. Dude, I wasn't there. I don't exactly know that it happened. Right.
It could be AI. So let me ask you this, though, because I don't know this. We referenced Jon Favreau. Is his character a superhero, too? I really don't know the answer to this. But then I'm watching this and he just walks in after she tells him, stay back. And he just like decks this dude who's supposed to be some kind of security special forces guy. And obviously she just proceeds to beat up the entire crowd. But I'm watching Jon Favreau. I'm like, he's not in the most fit stage of his life, but he just proceeds to knock this special forces guy out with a gun. Is he a superhero? I don't know.
No, he's not. He's just some guy.
He's his agent.
He is in the comics. He's Stark's like limo driver.
Okay. Well, and then like I said,
he's just some guy. But even more egregious was Scarlett Johansson in the scene.
Dude, she takes out this hallway full of guys and actually puts on some cool moves, but then they don't cut away fast enough. She gets up and stands up and runs away in the most unathletic run I think I've ever seen in my life. Like, what? Dude? what did I just see? So bad.
Yeah, this is one of the first times where I realized something insane was happening in movies where they're having women beat guys up. I'm like, Scarlett Johansson's like 100 pounds, and each of these guys in this hallway are like 250 roided, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh, well, she can do karate. Oh, she can do the little flippy dippy Frankensteiner move that she does in every movie now.
There's not enough kinetic force behind her body to be able to get these guys down, is what you're saying.
These guys she would kick them and they would tank it because they're 250 pounds of muscle.
Yeah.
The idea that someone can just karate their way out of 150 pound weight difference is insane.
It's true, dude. I feel that. I agree 100%. But the movie has to happen.
Well, I'll believe that there's a literal Norse god flying around shooting lightning from a hammer before I can believe that Scarlett Johansson can beat these guys up in this hallway. Okay?
Fair enough, dude. Fair enough.
And the last fight was just kind of underwhelming. Like,
yeah,
it's just like, okay, cool. I guess that it took like 30 seconds. Like, that minimal complaint, I guess.
Yeah, it did go super fast. And to your point, it would have been nice to see that drawn out a little bit better. But enough said.
Your final analysis, your Kino rating, sir.
Oh man, I know I was kind of negative on this one. Like I said, there were redeeming qualities. It's a good movie. I'm gonna go 7.3. 7.3 on this one. Pretty linear story, like I said. Bad guy gets introduced. They're vastly different. There's two bad guys between Vanko and Hammer. They team up. Our hero is dealing with personal shit. Tony Stark. Final boss fight, et cetera, et cetera. You get the drift. But I can appreciate the fact that this is 2010 and it's one of the first superhero movies. My point is that they don't really deviate from the formula. And that kind of irks me again because we're 25 or 20 years later with this and it's still the same kind of bullshit. So I'm a little bit fatigued of these, right?
You're fatigued.
I'm fatigued of these superhero movies. And watching this back again today, I'm like, okay, this is where it all started. Whatever. But no, there was good things. Like I said, intro to Vanko, yada yada. He clearly can't beat Iron Man, but gets in this suit, gets on his level, has these electric whips. Yeah. And then, like you mentioned, Sam Rockwell, which brings another kind of thing to the movie, another dynamic, his acting. But aside from that, man, it's just, I'm just watching this as, this is the superhero movie. Cool. Entertaining, good CGI.
It sounds like you're against superheroes.
Well, exactly. And that's exactly it. It's just, for me, it's not, it's just is what it is. Okay. And
is a superhero movie a power fantasy that you just can't accept?
And people get behind that and I can understand that. Right. Fair enough. But I live in the real world and I'm like, okay, this doesn't really, it doesn't entice me. Okay. So
you're a guy,
7.3. That's that.
You're buying a house. You have no idea how to change the floors, but you look up a YouTube video and you just figure it out.
Yeah.
And now you have beautiful flooring.
That's all you got to do, folks.
That's what you do.
You don't need to be.
You're not worried about flying in suits.
That's it, bro. I get what it is and I get that it's for the kids, but at the age of 39, I can't really get into it.
Yeah. By kids, do you mean 30 to 40 people who remember this shit from the 90s and still want to live?
Well, that's a whole different conversation. But yes, I mean, I grew up in, to be fair though, I wasn't that, and I respect people who are into it and we're into the comics, and it's fun to finally see this actually get made into real life from the comics. I respect that. I had toys growing up, but I just never got that into it. So that's why I just can't really get behind it. How about yourself?
Well, I'd give this movie like a 7. Like, just for a second.
Holy smokes. I'm higher than you are.
Try and for a second just separate this movie from the MCU as a whole and think of it as a standalone movie. If we're going by superhero movies that came out in like the 90s up to this point, it's one of the best.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're not talking about Citizen Kane here, obviously. We're talking about Iron Man 2. But it's not like a bad movie in terms of like unwatchable.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can turn this on and kind of veg out for a while.
100%.
one thing we didn't even discuss this was the down part of this movie. The bad part for me was when he just creates an element and you're like, what, dude?
Yeah, that was
what was that whole bullshit?
Congratulations, Tony. You just created a new element.
Yeah, I was like, well, okay, yeah. It was like a half hour of the movie where you're like, this guy's he's being forced to stay in his house and just build some shit and just willpower his way out. Oh, now you're not dying anymore.
Oh,
cool.
Nice. Wish I would have thought of this earlier.
But it was a little absurd, I thought, but
I agree.
100%. I really dig the scenes where it's just him in his garage or whatever, his techno garage, and it's just him like, let me just talk to my AI and start building shit. It's like, that's what I want to do in life, is just be some crazy maniac that sits in my room and builds stuff.
That's
and
you.
Becomes a millionaire.
That's what you are. Not the millionaire part. Well, that's it, folks. I mean, it's you. This one's a little bit long. I understand it, but we had to finally broach this topic of the superhero movies, which we always bitch about. Me specifically. This might be the first and last. I don't know. Maybe one will come down the pike that we have to revisit. We'll see.
Next week, Iron Man 3. If you have made it this far in the episode, people, tell us what you think of Iron Man and the MCU. Are we full of shit? Like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Let the people know. Next week, we're covering the Michael Mann psychological thriller Manhunter.
Oh, yeah.
And this is actually literally me.
Until then, catch you on the next one.